not to ask him. This is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Well, good evening. I cannot believe we've actually started 5 minutes ahead of time. It has to be a first. But anyway, good evening. Welcome to everybody tonight to Scott Valley Hairdressing. This is where we are and this is where we're live. To everybody this evening that is international, a good evening. Mark Clive, everybody at Muck Central in Australia. A big good evening also to everybody at Muck Central UK. Very proud to be your UK Artistic Director, and thank you very much for giving me the privilege, as well as all of our wonderful models that we've had in the past that have done this as well, for giving me the privilege to be able to cut their hair. You'll see a very, very interesting model tonight, a very interesting haircut that's coming your way very shortly. But anyway, big good evening also to Sarah, I know you'll be on watching tonight, and Ben, big good evening friend, hope you're okay. Nick McCaffrey, wherever you are in the world, because I know you'll be globe-trotting somewhere, whether it's Mexico or the UK. Big good evening to you and Shazza as well. Dan, also I know you'll be watching the Saxon family. Big good evening as well if you're on there also tonight. And of course, not forgetting big mate Lynn Marie Atkinson, Grace and Cara. Hopefully I've got your name right tonight, because I always have to think Cara, so to make sure I get it right. So, this was originally designed for 3 haircuts, and now I'm 51. So amazing, everybody keeps asking, can you keep doing more? Some fantastic letters as well. Thank you so much for sending all the letters that you've sent and all the private messages to say that you really are learning something and you're really enjoying what we're doing, because again, this is really important. It was set up originally as a DVD style presentation for people to learn cutting. That's what it's all about tonight, exclusively sponsored by Muck Hair Care Products. So you see tonight how the cutting works in harmony with the product. As it starts at the beginning of the journey, the nice thing is obviously you'll see how the journey maintains to the end, almost like a painting. You get a chance to see the finished product. So, without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to a model tonight. First time I've ever met this lady, first time I've ever cut her hair. We've only met tonight for the first time. We're giving up a big good evening to Carol Sainsbury. Woo! So,
hi everybody.
Say good evening to her. You want to say hello to Claire?
Hi Claire, Deb if you're watching.
They'll all be on there tonight. So it's going to be an interesting journey. You'll see the haircut tonight. Let's just quickly put my little younger brother on there. He's look. Hello there. Say hello there. He's on there. Always working. Say hello, Daddy, who's on tonight, because we must see a few people coming on tonight.
There's quite a few on tonight.
Let's say hello to them. Anybody?
Sally Blurton.
Sally Blurton from Australia. Big good evening. G'day. Hope you're okay. Who else is on there tonight?
Michelle Wilkes.
Michelle Wilkes, hello. Nice to see you, Michelle Wilkes. Hope you're okay.
Dan Anderson.
Dan Anderson, nice to see you as well on there tonight. Hope you're okay. Good to see you with us.
Dean Payne.
Dean Payne, good to see you, Dean Payne. Yeah, if any of your friends come on here, just say hello, and we'll just come straight on. Literally.
George Michael Joseph.
Oh yes. Where's my telephone call to come and meet you? You are now a global star. You soon forget your friend. Literally, I need to meet up with you for coffee, so you need to come on
tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow. Well, text me and we'll sort it out. It'd be good. I'll keep watching you. Awesome. Best
Gary Mealing.
Gary, good to see you, mate. You need to come on here and do this. In that respect, we'll say hello to some other people in a second. Right, so let's talk about what we're going to do tonight, because obviously, thank you. Most importantly, Carol's the model tonight. I'm going to be doing Carol's hair. Normally, I'd give you a run through what we're going to do. So, what we are actually going to do is tonight we're actually going to do this. It's going to be quite a restyle tonight, so we're going to be seeing quite a change. So, some of you might be a little bit shocked now. Just make sure you get this in full view, Dad, of what we're doing. So, normally I'd talk you through what I'm going to do, but instead, I've got a big pair of scissors and I'm just going to go like that instead, and just take it straight out and just go. There you go. So that basically is the start of the cut. Okay. Now I'm going to talk about what we're actually doing. So the haircut, when it's finished, will be just slightly shorter than what it is now, to literally the shoulders, the base of the shoulders. We're then going to come through the sides and just do a very, very tiny amount of graduation through there, which will just be softening the edges. Then using the bones, which we'll go through in a minute, we'll be doing a square layer through to the top, following through to a rounded layer afterwards, which will then give us a nice heart shape on Carol's face, which we're going to frame up. Then we're going to work on a fringe that we've got in here somewhere. We're going to do a nice curved fringe through there. Then we're going to curve the fringe out also to take the weight out, then soften out the fringe to give us a soft look. Products tonight, we'll be working with Nick McCaffrey's favourite product, which is going to be Fat Muck Blowout Mousse. We'll be using that as our cutting lotion. I look how you look at me when I'm talking. Wait till you watch this on video, you won't be able to look at me now. Then we're going to be using the 21 Miracle Lotion, which again enables you to be able to put volume into the hair, shine, everything, all of the above. We'll also be bringing in tonight, we'll be using some argan oil spray shine at the very end, and I may also bring into the equation possibly some hot muck serum. We'll see, I'll decide at the very end which one I'm going to use. That dual screen looks very nice tonight with all that green on there. So without further ado, we're going to be working with the bones tonight, because again, as we all know, we work with the highway of the hair. So we'll be working with the recession tonight, which is the bone on the front. We'll then be working with the parietal ridge, which is the bone that subdivides the top layer to the bottom layer, which in our case we'll be using the uniform layer to the rounded layer, and that will be the middle part which decides the turn. We'll then be using apex on the top. We'll be using the upper occipital bone, the protruding bone in the skull, which denotes the shortest point of a graduated bob, which is obviously not going to be tonight, but in future use, the occipital bone, the starting point of the haircut tonight, the lower occipital bone. Then what would be the corner of the chair or the shoulder is the mastoid process. Then we'll be working with the nape, which is the lowest bone in the skull. So that pretty much is the highway of the hair tonight, which we're working with. Again, it's going from A to B. Don't stop me laughing, you'll stop me laughing. Let's say. So we'll go from A to B, and obviously we have to have some kind of method we're going to work with and some kind of discipline, which again is discipline with the way your hands perform and your body positioning and everything else. And you'll see all this tonight. So without further ado, every journey starts at the beginning of a journey, obviously. Let's go with the first product tonight. So it's Fat Muck Blowout Mousse, which of course Nick McCaffrey knows this only too well. Normally I start with about a golf ball size of this product. The nice thing is with it, oh, it's here, I know it's there. The nice thing is you can see it's a foamy mousse. This actually, if you pop it into a glass, it will disperse into conditioner. So we're actually working this through the hair now, which the reason being I'm putting it on with a comb is because there's no product wastage. Also, it's theatre, which people like to see when they go to the hairdressers because it is quite theatrical, and also it's just a great way to get it into the roots. And I learned this a very long time ago when I was touring the world with hairdressing, and it's amazing what you pick up. So for some of you that have never done this before, this technique, do it. As with most techniques, if you've never tried them, use them tonight. So we're now going to go into the first part, which is working from the apex to the mastoid process. Nice straight line in there. The nice thing is the product will allow you to do that, which is what I absolutely love about Fat Muck Blowout Mousse. It works so well in this situation. So again, keep everything nicely clean and out of the way, because again, I always say, clean sections, clean haircut. I'm sure you remember that from your days of...
No.
That's it. Again, coming through this side now, we've got a lot more hair over here. If Dean's watching, well, you can see the change already. Claire, if you're watching, you'll see some big changes already tonight. So you can see this works quite cleanly. Work very clean in this section. Right, now we're going to subdivide the back. So we go down the back. I use my thumb as an area to comb to. Been doing this so long that you just automatically do it and think somebody might be doing it for the first time who's just learning hairdressing. So you can see what we're working with tonight, a lot of kink as well. So this will be great when we do the styling at the end, because we'll be using the Muck Wild Plate style stick. I think all the names. It's quite a mouthful, isn't it? So, it's like Peter Piper picked a pickled pepper. No, it's a bit like that. It's like red leather and blue leather. Somebody used to say yellow leather.
Yellow leather.
That's it, yellow leather, red leather. That's what it is. So you get the gist. So you can see what we're doing here now, just with the section. And again, what I'm doing is just slightly angling that down, which I'll explain to you in a minute why I'm doing that. So everything's done for a reason, it's all done for a purpose. It's not done because I want to do it that way, it's just the way I've been taught. So what we're doing now is maintain length that we've got. Again, you have to think about your well-being. Just can't move out of the way, look, bless him. He knows what he's doing, he'll do the old shuffling there. He will. At least his shoelace has not come undone this week. Two weeks ago you were shuffling around, I thought, oh no, here we go. He's got the old shuffle. It's because his shoelace had come undone. I thought any minute now he's going to trip over. The viewers at home will get something different.
Yeah.
They'll get a floor show. Now the scissors, thank you, darling. It's more like an operation. Right, so you can see now we've got a slight angle on the layers just there. So on the sections we're going to take into the cut before we go on the layers. You can see by doing this subdividing all the way up, if you put the section in square, and combed it down square, it would lip up at the edge. Because we're slightly at an angle, that denotes and tells me that as I comb this down, I'm looking for a slightly curved haircut, which when it's curved, blow dries perfectly straight. So that's what really tells me to do that, rather than sort of cutting it for the heck of it. Now we're going to take this into 3 sections. There won't be an awful lot that'll need to come off now, because we're aiming to go to the base of the shoulder, so you can see by aiming it and looking at it, that's where we're going. So we need to just be making sure it's right. I'm going to be using the tighter part of the comb, the thinner edge. Comb it down, put the square line in now, you can see where we're going with it. Just quite lightly trimming it this time, because obviously we've got a lot of hair we've taken off. Now we're going to comb it in just with a slight roundness, and that just gives us a slight curve. Again, when we put the straighteners on later, you'll see how this all comes in on the style stick, as it all comes into play. Now the arm pushes up slightly because it's the mechanics of the cut. As I'm pushing the arm up, that denotes making sure that you've got that curve. As it all comes off the arm and the way the body is, if you're standing up when you're doing this, you won't really be able to see anything, and it's not good for your back. So you need to be thinking about well-being, and that's the purpose of these videos, that you can see that when I'm doing it. It's real time, we're not changing anything. When we come in to do the blow dry, you'll see it all exactly as I see it, and how Carol will see it later. So now we're going to the upper occipital bone. You say, I'm dying to see it, I'm dying to see it. Get the mirror out, show me the back.
Yeah.
So now you can see we're going into this. Okay. So now, just grip that up, make sure it's all out of the way. James Sully. Nice to see you, Jane, hope you're okay. We've actually got a dinner dance on, I don't know if you've seen it advertised, doing a James Bond gala ball. Dean is singing. So I don't know if you've seen that. I've got a couple of tickets left, about 8 tickets, so you may want to make an appearance.
Michael Kelly.
Michael Kelly, good to see you with us tonight. Hope you're okay.
Tracy Barnes.
Tracy Barnes. Ooh, Tracy. Say hello to Tracy Barnes. She's out of Saxon.
Tracy.
There you go. Tracy's son's been on here, Mark. He's been one of my models.
Karen Booth.
Karen Booth, the original, #1. 50 haircuts ago. Good to see you, Karen. Hope you're okay tonight. And Ian, hope he's alright too.
Colin Matthew Hoochin.
Colin Matthew. Nice to see you, Colin. Hope you're okay with us tonight.
James Hickman.
James Hickman. Good to see you, James. Thanks for joining
Nicola
us.
Champion.
God blimey, they're all on tonight. Hello, Nicola. Nice to see you tonight. Hope you're okay. Oh, it's just come on down. Got any more?
Yeah, I'll call the few out of it.
It does well because all the names will
Yeah.
scroll up, and he never sort of like stops me when I'm talking. He likes to sort of come in at the right moment, which I think is nice.
Yeah.
I don't mind if you stop me, it's fine. It's okay. Start with yourself, you know. So if you want to talk to me, talk. I'm not a robot. It's fine. Nanu. That's it.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's it. That's it. It might be a bit strange, but you know, it's fine. I'm not a robot. Real. Real man, real time.
Yeah.
It's all good fun. Right, so we're now going from the apex down again. We're just bringing this into the cut so you can see where we're going with it. We're just putting a nice clean edge in there so everything just sits really, really well. So you can see where we're going with it. These scissors are really good because again I use 8-inch pair of scissors on this. So nice big blade just does a nice job. It just
Carmen Maria Amelia.
Carmen, nice to see you. Hope you're okay, sweetheart. Yeah, all the way from down London. Funny enough, I put your photo up on Facebook the other day when I came to visit the salon that you used to work at down Bond Street. Good to see you. Hope you're okay.
Salon.
Hopefully I'll come to see you sometime. Stephen Way's old salon. Forget the name of it now. I photographed outside of it as a Reiki salon. Probably should put the name up in a minute. I can't remember because I'm cutting. Multitasking as well, dangerous for a man. Really dangerous. Done wrong.
Not many men can multitask.
I can only do it here. From many years of practice, I can't iron and talk and watch TV at the same time. It's dangerous. That is dangerous. So now you can see we're coming down now, getting the line perfect. Everything's all coming in nicely. Like I say, with big scissors, you get a chance to see everything, you know, absolutely pristinely. Right, so now we're going to go into the side panel. We would normally go from the apex, crossing over to the recession. This side, there's less hair, so we're going to do this all in one go, really. So as we come round, now we're going to take out a little bit more hair, because obviously we're going to curve it round, so we're just going to bring that in. It's It's like almost like dot to dot when you do this. You have to think of dot A to dot B, and then as you do it, the nice thing is with a comb, the comb acts as a level as you're doing it. So if you're using your fingers, you tend to roll. The hair tends to roll a bit, and you get graduation. So with a comb, it's a bit more solid. The old Tony and Guy days. That's what you're saying. Get it drilled into you. It never leaves you. So if anybody has never tried cutting through the comb, just try it. So you can see now that line's just real. It's there, it's pristine. I don't want it to be any other really, otherwise I'm sure Carol will have something to say to me later.
I'm scared.
Right, from the apex now to the recession, we're going to cross over the parietal ridge. So just going to draw a horseshoe section in there. Nice for people that have got horses out there. Understand what that looks like. No pun intended there.
No.
That's it. Because you can turn around and knock me at any time you want me to. It's fine. I told you to have a laugh. Right, so we're just combing this down. Let's get my little friend up on the stairs, because if you go on the stairs, you might get a better angle. That's it. Don't trip over. There he is. Fancy seeing you here. How you doing? Right, so you can see now, just following it around, so you should get a nice angle of what I'm doing. So as I said, we're going from point A to point B. So obviously point A is going round in as we follow this round. If you pulled it all back, it would obviously create a longer shape. So because we're pulling it round, we're going shorter, and it creates the shape to the bottom of the shoulder, the base. To leave it slightly longer, because as we all know, hair shrinks. So you've got to be able to allow that shrinkage as well with it, because of course, again, you know, once it shrinks, and there's nothing you can do. So you've got to be able to think of that, to allow that part, especially when you get to fringes, because as we all know, we started cutting fringes at the beginning and it sort of shrunk when it was from wet to dry.
JD Davis.
JD Davis, come on, I've not heard from you for a long time. Hi JD Davis, good to see you. Are you still in the Paul Mitchell art team? That's the big question.
Amy Towers.
Amy Towers, good to see you there tonight.
Sue Golds.
Sue Golds, hello Sue. Hope you're okay. Really good to see you. Hope Chris is alright and the family. It's all good. So yeah, so I used to be in the art team for Paul Mitchell, so it's been quite interesting. Touring the world, seeing many different places, seeing different faces. It's all good. Okay, so we've now got the first part. Let's just bring the next part down. The nice thing working like this is, because it's very clean, the beautiful thing about a horseshoe section is that as you cut with that, cutting actually in the line of the way it falls in the natural fall. Hot cross bun sections on the top, which we're nearly at hot cross bun time now with Easter, is that you cut the back first and then do horizontal sections, which I tend to think you get a disconnection with the back to the front. So if you've never cut in a horseshoe section, try it, because it's a more natural progression as you're cutting hair. So as you look at it on the side viewing plane, you can really see the shape as it's coming through. So it's just something a little bit different. It takes a while to be able to get that horseshoe section line, but like anything, practice makes perfect. And yeah, I used to dread doing it, but in the end it just becomes easier. So the more you do it, the easier it gets. Just practice on a mannequin doll. That's it. I still do now. I still practice on things. Well, you're still learning. You're still learning. You never stop learning, do you?
Ben Burgess.
Ben Burgess, good to see you, Ben. I was talking to your mother the other day about the time when I did the blow dry at Lucy Ellingworth's party. It's great. I sent her the photos the other day. Funny enough.
Woods.
Deborah Woods. Nice to see you, Deborah. Hope you're okay. Good to have you with us again. Any of your friends come on, just tell me. Byron Taylor, good to see you all the way from Australia or New Zealand. Thank you. Good to see you with us again. Right, a razor now. We use a safety razor. Okay, so two evident sides of a safety razor. You've got the cutting edge, which removes 50% of the hair. The thinning side, which removes 25%. We're obviously using the cutting edge because we're going to do 100% cut on this. So the idea is, we now go back to the, here it comes up, your shuffling, watch him shuffle up. We're going from here, the flowers in here, weren't there? We're going to go from the apex again to the mastoid process to subdivide the back from the front. We'll be cutting into this little section in a minute. The idea is everything's very methodical, so when you're cutting, you've got to think on your feet and make sure everything stays clean and in the angles where you're cutting from. So we're going to be working with zero elevation on this part. So what we're looking for is a very, very subtle C-shaped curve just in the bottom there. So you can just see a slight shape. So we'll subdivide it into 2 pieces. There's elevation, 0 elevation. We're going to be going for 0 elevation. So we're moving the fingers while we're doing it. We're only taking the edge off. Cutting with the razor blade towards the finger. As you're doing that, it's almost like planing the hair off. If you went more against it, it'd tear the hair, make a real mess. So the idea is you shouldn't even be able to feel that. It should just glide. So nice sharp blade, and then it's all about the angle that you're putting it in at. So we're only just softening the edge, so Carol can still tie her hair back. But again, it just gives us a slightly different edge on it. If you were to do this without a pair of, without a razor, you could use a pair of scissors and you just literally just curve that and you pick it up and then curve it in, or you slice it in. Which could do that for. And if you really wanted to get quite technical, you could lift it up, elevate it to the head, flick a blade in like that, and turn the fingers. And if you're doing that, it creates a shape. So there's many different ways of doing it. I'm very visual, so it's all interesting. Yes, okay, let's look at side 2. Do you want to come around this way? There you go. All of a sudden you're on the right side. Sorry, I'm trying to fall.
It's alright.
Probably get kicked in there. That's it, right. So now just
Leanne Griffiths.
Leanne Griffiths, nice to see you with us tonight. Okay, tiny bit there looking for the clue.
Nicola Maslin.
Nicola Maslin. Hello, Nicola. Hope you're okay. It's got really nice curly hair. I've seen Nicola for a long time. Okay, so just taking it. Kate Howard. Woo! Now, just very quickly, I need to ask you a question. I did try to video call you earlier on. I know you've just texted me back. The reason I video called you was because I needed to get me some more blades, please, because I'm nearly run out of blades. Can I have 3 packs of blades? If you text me later, that'd be great. Thank you, sweetheart. And I did ring the salon earlier, but you've obviously gone out, so that's why I video called you. But thanks in advance. So I have to ask you to get me some more blades. I've got through them like there's no tomorrow. Thanks for joining. That's good. Got some
Joanna
good friends.
Wikes.
Hello, Joanna. Nice to see you. Hope you're okay. I did see you the other day when I was running, but you didn't see me. Okay, so you can now see the shapes coming through slowly. Again, we're only taking the edge off. Got a lot more hair this side to work with. And again, we've got the joining between the back and the side, which generally gives us a bit of disconnection. So we'll just make sure that joins nicely. There's only the tiniest bit, probably a strand if that. But, you know, I'm quite fussy about how things are, so... Right, so there we go. There's one side and the other side. Now we're going to go through to the layers. Just a very quick haircut tonight, so Big Mate will be able to watch EastEnders. Lynn Marie Atkinson, they're watching it on... did you ever see, because you're quite young, you must have seen Monkey, the programme years ago. Did you ever see that on BBC Two? It was Chinese, and it had like a translation.
I think so.
It's just go,
vaguely.
something.
Yeah.
So they're watching it, believe it or not, through Samsung and iPhone. So the Samsung gets the sound quick and the picture, and it comes out synchronisation when you listen to my voice. That's when I say monkey. Right, so they'll be laughing at that. Right, so we've got apex to about where the occipital bone is. Now what we're going to do here is we're doing a rounded layout, and then we'll go through the layers on the side. Now I'm just going to turn you this way. I need you this way to me so I can explain. Right, so now we're going to be lifting everything up. Now, one of the worst things you can ever do is relax the tension when you cut it, and one of the other worst things you can do is drag the tension. So if you drag it, you won't get an accurate layout. So the idea is you're going to lift it up. Now, if you can watch my arm moving as I do this, the mechanics of the cut pushes it up in the air. Now, you go to the second knuckle, which of course Dad and I were talking about the other day, because you cut yourself if you go past your second knuckle, which of course you did, didn't you, Dad? The other day, 'cause you said, "Oh, should I listen to you?"
First time I cut myself in about 6 months.
Yeah, let's put the culprit on quick. Here he is, look. Look, what did you do? Go on, tell everybody.
Second knuckle went by and cut
Yeah,
it.
what a surprise. There he is, Carla Hancock's nice to see you tonight. Oh look, the camera's got at an angle. Here he is. So the secret there is to always cut to the second knuckle, because it's really important. I say this every week because it is important. If you go past the second knuckle, you will generally cut yourself. What happens is this. So if you just look at my hand a second, you've got knuckle 1, knuckle 2. So the most amount of tension is between those two parts of the knuckle. This part here is where you will lose tension. So if you cut past there, you'll either cut yourself on the inside, the outside, or you may cut yourself on the knuckle. So the secret is to cut that second knuckle as if it's a red line and you can't go past it. That way you will preserve your fingers even more. Which obviously Dad didn't.
I've done it.
It's not nice, is it? That's it. Slightly rounded, second knuckle discipline, you can see it.
Not bad, it's first cut in about 6 months.
Oh, that's right, but it happens. I mean, you think how many times you cut hair. Yeah, it's a lot of time.
I've done it. and it hurts.
It does, it does. It's when it goes white. It's when you got to worry. Then the blood comes. Right, here we go. So again, look, the arm. There's the arm. It's pushing slightly. You'll see I'm facing towards the customer when I do this. Most people at college, which I'm not condemning it, will be like this. Because they'll be coming backwards, but you'll be facing backwards towards your guest. So if you really want to be facing to the front and maintaining conversation and saying, are you going on holiday this year? You're going out tonight? It's just easier. So you have to think about being able to face your guest, and they can see what you're doing as well, so it's just really important. Okay, second knuckle.
Sadie Allco.
Sadie, nice to see you tonight. Hope you're okay. Hope you're alright. I can never tell if the lens is on me or not with this new camera. Of course, in 4K it's all different because you don't see anything. Like, it's in thin lenses on you, it's not. Looks like it's gone that way. Right, so now we've got the layer. What that's doing is giving us a very subtle rounded edge. So it just rounds the hair in, so it's roughly about sort of there to there, and just gives us that nice fold. Right, so now we're going to be working with a parietal ridge, which is about there. Ross Cunningham's favourite bone that he loves to be recited to since learning from these DVDs. Right, so now there's the parietal ridge. We're going to do a very fine section now. So you can see now, lift my arm up, keep everything level, and then just take out what needs to come off. Now I'm going to round it because I'm using the parietal ridge. You can see there's the length, that's the weight. It's almost like a triangle. So now you have to remember where that parietal ridge is because it's easy to forget where you're going. So just put the parietal ridge back in again with the square layer. There's quite a lot of technical ability on this haircut. I'd normally be talking to Carol about holiday, life in general, anything. But obviously in my head I'd be thinking parietal ridge, section, square layer, arm, everything would all be coming into my head now. But instead, you as the viewers and Carol gets to hear what I'm thinking as I'm thinking out loud as I'm doing it. So now subdivide again, square layer with the arm as well. Again, you're not relaxing the arm off when you're doing this because you've got to keep the tension on. It's really important.
Cash Bones.
Cash! Good to see you all the way from, I'm guessing, I can't remember where you are. I think it's India tonight, but good to see you. Hopefully the beautiful Monica's all right too. I'll get a chance to meet Monica. I did actually speak to your brother the other day. He's coming back, so that'll be good. He's coming back from London. He's going to come and have a haircut, so that's nice. And he also did say he's going to sponsor my vest again, so whether or not Conduce is going to sponsor me again is the big question. So you can see now, subdividing again, and we're going into this quadrant. That's a corner of the hair, quarter. So this
Tammy
now...
Rayner.
Sorry?
Tammy Rayner.
Tammy Rayner, or should I say Pammy Tar? Nice to see you, Tammy. Hope you're okay. Good to see you there. Hope you're all right. Again, now we're going to go through to
Nicola Cowdery.
Nicola. Hello, Nicola. Good to see you with us tonight. Now we're going around the
Kerry
other way.
Hickling.
Kerry. Hello, Kerry.
Yeah, I'll let you get on with it.
That's fine. Just tell me if any of these calling you
I'll
friends.
shout a few out now.
Shout them out, because I'll be saying, call me out, Dad, call me out. Right, so now rounded layer in this quadrant. I told you it's a laugh when you do it, it's great. You understand why I get home at night and burnt out. Once I've done it, I go home and sit on the sofa and just relax. It is like a show. Right, so round this way now. So on this side, now we're looking for the parietal ridge. We've got a lot more hair to play with this time. So now we're going to go through the top and replicate what we've just done. Big word tonight, replicate.
It's the dictionary.
It is, thesaurus, actually. That's what we need. Right, so up it goes, taking it off. Second
Carol
knuckle.
Abbott says looking forward to next week.
Excellent. Oh, I am as well, yeah. Oh, yeah, of course, Carol Abbott, yeah. I'm really looking forward to seeing you next week. So I'll forget the names. That's right, it'll be great. Wednesday night. Don't forget. That's it, it'll be great. I'm really looking forward to it. So now we're going to go through here. I'll just round it out. You can see what's going on. So now we go through to the top again. Every section now we're going to work towards the front will be a square layer. Again, that parietal ridge is really important. You've got to make sure that parietal ridge is in there. This is why I went through it all earlier, to make sure that everybody understood the bones I'm working to. You can see the sections we're working with, nice square lines on there. And then again, now we're going to go rounded on the parietal ridge. So we'll just lift everything out. The arm again is pushing up as we're doing it, so you can see that's the length. We don't want to go any shorter than the length. That now comes off. Again, you can see how straight this line is while it's being cut. The sections are clean. All the lines are square while I'm doing it, because again, it's really important. If you become quite lazy when you're doing this, you will get a really bad haircut. So you have to think about all your sections being clean. Your body positioning, my back's not taking any beating at all. I'm doing this. I'm standing and the hair's really just being moulded around like putty. So it should be like a choreographed dance when you're doing it. That's what I think of it as, a choreographed dance. So now the last section comes up. We go up in the air again, the arm goes up. Take it off, second knuckle. There's quite a lot going on in this. A lot of people say to me, I cannot believe how much technical goes into hair cutting. There's a lot of technical.
There is, yeah.
It is. I bet this has brought it all back for you tonight. You're thinking, we're standing there, tomorrow I want to do a haircut. I want to cut my husband's hair later. I'll say, don't worry, sweetheart.
This is easy, I just shave it.
Okay, just going through the top now, just to make sure everything's level. So you're not looking like a tachograph in a truck. So just remember, this was slightly rounded on this layer, so this now comes out at an angle. You would never go up. It just literally just comes back. So that's that piece there. We're just going to come into this last quadrant. When I say a quadrant, it's like the hot cross bun on the top of the hair. You've got 4 quarters. Obviously the quadrant is the quarter that I'm working on now. So I'm just going to go to this corner, take this quadrant. Remember, we layered everything to that line. So that actually falls in line with the parietal ridge. So it all makes sense. All of this all really makes sense. And now I'll just pull it up slightly at an angle. You can see the corner there. Just to make sure, this could be a little bit I've taken from the bottom, but we just want to make sure that everything's cleaned off nicely. Okay, there it is. All nicely cleaned up and done nicely. So now, these layers will blow dry absolutely perfect. So we've got all of the cut done all the way through. We're now just going to have a little look at the fringe. So I'm just going to use, for this part, an interesting shaped pair of scissors, a nice curve in there, I don't know if you can see that. So these are quite expensive scissors, but purely because of the curve that's on there, which is what makes it. So we're going to use the curve for 2 things. Number 1, let's just face it this way, we can see a pretty little face, that's it, there we go. So we can now see the curve, what we're going to work with to begin with will be there, and then the second curve will be there. So first of all, we need to draw the line out, because we have to make sure that everything's angled right and clean. So we're going to go to the corner of the eyes, which is normally where you put the fringe to. Cut his fringe yourself.
Yeah.
Not bad actually, that's good. 9 out of 10. Good.
Chop into it.
Very good, chop into it, very good. You should not use pinking scissors, some people do that. You'll be amazed. Okay, so now we're just going to take the next section again. Just keeping everything nice and clean as we're doing this. So you can see that there. Okay, there we go. So everything's all in there nicely. Okay, let's just put that back. So the first section on this will be, perfect. Sorry, the hands are really cold on that.
No, you're right.
Eyes go cold on cutting. So, to begin with, second knuckle, so it's a square layer, slightly elevated. Now you put the rounded layer, and we're only going to take the edge off. So we're not looking to take too much off. So slightly in there, look, you see the curve works, you've already got the curve, that's 1, that's in there. So now I've got that curve. Now comes number 2. Remember, this is only quite rough at the moment, so we're going to blow dry and then do it for real later. So number 2. Goes slightly low, and then I'll then put the line in with the curve. Okay, so we've now got that curve coming in. Now we start from the top. That's it. So now we're looking for this. We've got length, and just take a little bit of weight out. See, I've got the curve going the other way. A lot of people will be thinking, what is he doing? Well, the idea is with this, it removes weight. So as the fringe grows out naturally, as it would do, you'd have a fringe trim in 6 weeks' time, but the difference is it would be quite heavy and flat on the top. By doing this, it keeps the length, but reduces the weight. And what it does is it keeps the body through the top part of the fringe as it grows out naturally and evenly. So you can put the brush under it and still maintain height as it gets longer and heavier. So you can actually sort of see it now, starting to lift up and protrude up a bit. So those of you that have never tried that before, it's a really nice technique, and all you do then is put the comb under at an angle which you've cut, and then literally just cross-check it off. There's nothing coming off really, just to make sure. I'm only doing it for the camera so you can see that everything's perfect. So the idea is now you can see that sort of lifting a bit there, and it's just working nicely. Well, let's dust your face down and we'll use our next product.
Okay, let's go over here.
So, for those of you that are still watching and not paying attention to EastEnders tonight, the next product is we're going to be using Muck 21 Miracle. Now, this is an amazing product. The reason I say it's amazing is because I use this a lot at work. A lot of the staff use it, they love it. What it does is it will do 20 things in one. So it will be like a conditioner that stays in the hair. So even more conditioner, your hair's going to shine like there's no tomorrow. It will, in fact, the word will glisten in the sunlight tomorrow. The other thing is it makes it manageable because it's a treatment, and also it gives us a little bit of body where we need it. It's really just everything you want in one product. Lynn Marie Atkinson knows that because she's got some and she really likes it.
Paul King.
Paul King. Woo! King hair. Good to see you on that. This time my dad called your name out. It's really good. All the way from Essex.
Jennifer Bell.
Jennifer Bell. Hello, darling. Nice to see you. I hope you're well. Hopefully I'll see you soon. Chris Jordan. Christoph. Good to see you, Christoph. Hopefully you're okay. Good to see you.
Lynn
Good work.
Wiseman.
Lynn, sorry.
Lynn Wiseman.
Can I just borrow your hearing aid? Is that alright? Hello, Lynn Wiseman. Good to see you. Thanks for that. I can do your hearing aid. Is that alright? Because it's so quiet. Your battery's not going to go tonight, is it? It went last week. Right, another little top tip for you tonight. Say hello to Robert, also Christoph. Woo! That's it. Right, so heat up the round brush first. What this does is when we go on the fringe, it means that we're using heat from the brush and heat from the dryer, which comes like two different irons together. So now just put that on. It's a hot brush and it's a hot dryer. So the two together will really start to make a difference. So you'll see a lot of shine on here with the products in a minute. It'll almost feel like glass when it's finished. It's absolutely brilliant. You can see the change already straight away. It just gives it a real shine. Colour's going to change as well. Everything's going to look really, really fresh in a minute. Then we'll use the wide plate on the hair, really just to get it back in there. And again, you're using the brush in harmony with the dryer, so the two work together nicely. See, I'm holding the dryer as well. It's quite a relaxed way. I'm not putting any stress on my wrist. If you hold it the other way, if you go like this, how much my wrist bends is a lot. Right, so now we're going to take all the moisture out. The really important part of this is that thinking of a piece of hair as a strand of hair, all of the cuticles stick up if you blow dry the hair upside down, which makes it look dull and matty. If you blow dry it downwards, which you'll see in a minute, it makes everything lie smooth and shine like a mirror, which A makes the colour look different, and B makes it look shinier, and C makes it feel nice. So you'll see now, I'll just start that process off now by going down and see if that's making nice and comfortable for you. How's that? Yeah, I'm just thinking of you. You have to think of your comfort, you see. It's really important. Right, so those of you in the morning that put your head upside down and dry into it, do not. Because even though it's quick, it makes it all done and matching, it's making it quite a difficult job. You'll see now by doing this, the colour's starting to come alive. I'm almost grabbing the airflow that's coming over the top. You can really see that shine. If you get the back of your hand, go like that. Goes like glass. Just like magic. Wait till you go home tonight. Your family will say to you, let me touch your hair. Let me feel your hair. So I was doing the same thing, wait till prayer season. Continue down. That's it. So now obviously we get all the moisture out as much as we can. We're going for a really smooth blow dry tonight, or as Andy Hardy says, big mate, smock. On predictive text, that's what comes up as smock. We've been doing that for about a year because we put it on with smock. We'll probably put it on tonight. Smock. So it will be smooth when it's done. And then it's really good at home because you'll see the shine. Again, this is great to see a massive change tonight with this on Carol's hair. So just get all that moisture, because again, the hair's quite wavy, so we're actually trying to fight with the curl to begin with. As soon as you power that dryer on, it starts to make it easier, just to sort of dry nicer. Got a bit on carousel, that's it. We'll get the songs down in a minute.
Yeah.
So the songs are sort of after 6 minutes. Oh, bit before my time. So now you can see that we're lifting up and just making it smooth, soft. These are all. Okay. So now we're going to go back round. We're going to go back into the quadrant now. So we put the attachment on because it's really important. It concentrates all of the airflow into one position. So if you want to come onto the stairs and the friends, page right. That's it. Thank you. I know. That's it. Hello! stays right as good. But you can really see it from this angle there. You see the curl in there. Dry on. These brushes are great because they're like a set of straighteners. So when you heat up the aluminium core, as the Americans call it, you can really see the change. So they actually start to smooth the hair out. This technique is called trucking trailer, because that's the truck and that's the trailer. You can really see that all of a sudden is curving under, exactly what I said it would do with the layer. Actually see this. Oh, you like it. Looks like you've been freshly coloured tonight. Good, super good. It's totally different. What do you think so far? Totally different, yeah. Sounds convincing.
Like that.
Yeah, it does, yeah. These lights are really sharp as well. It's got brand new lighting now, so we're on white light so you can see everything. It's really good. Makes a massive difference. That layer on its own is just holding the hair, so that's a good thing. It makes a massive difference. Which again is really nice. It's a good way to show this tonight. You can really sort of show just how the cut works in harmony. So you should just see that nicely. I can't wait for you to see this later and watch it. You can see how much I put into it and you look at it and think, man, that's my hair. Especially when you want to cut it off at the beginning. That's my hair. At least you didn't cry. You're very strong, very brave. I was impressed. So now you can see. So you can really see this as I'm doing it, elevating the brush slide. By elevating it, it allows it to just dry around the brush and just give it that nice finish. Some people never quite get that finish perfect, but you just have to grip onto the brush right to the very end, which is good. Right, so let's just go in here now. You can really see the curl as well. This is great because you get a chance to see just how different it is. This is a great way just to get right in there, dry those roots, and pick it up. Again, this takes a bit of practice to do this with a round brush. Make sure you practice it first before you do it, otherwise you'll be getting the hair all knotted up and you wonder why it doesn't look like it. Let it cool as you're doing it. Again, you can really see the change there. Working up in sections, really important. Again, if you are doing this in big sections, it will take longer to dry, it will knot up really badly. See what we're working with, it's quite great because you can really see the change in the blow dry. So when we put the straighteners on, or the nut wire plate style stick as it's better known as, you see it's called mouthpiece. You really see the change with it tonight when it all comes together at the very end. Again, every section I do, pull it out. It should be a labour of love, not like really, you know, sort of like difficult to do. You shouldn't be getting stressed with it. If you're getting stressed, then you shouldn't really be doing it. You should just be thinking, right, I'm doing it this way. You really have got to show the hair who's in charge when you do this. And I always think that when I blow dry this, I think about when I was 16 and an Italian lady said to me, pull the hair. I was scared. And I was so young. But she taught me a vital lesson. If you don't show it what you're doing, it won't do it. So you just have to really go at it. And you can see that now. You can see the change on the screen at home. It just starts changing. Okay, so as I say, we film this in 4K and we're filming it in real time. So you're seeing it as we're seeing it. So obviously not yourself because you can't see it. You've not got eyes at the back of your head. But you will have later. Again, you can really see the product's working now. It's easy to comb through. It's really showing out the shine, showing out the colour. Almost like plastic hair. It's really good. Right, mega. It's like Cindy hair, you know, like Cindy doll. It looks great. I love it. I get ever so excited when I'm like, you'll think it, isn't it? 31 years of hairdressing, get selected every cycle. So, let that elevate. Cool down. Right, so there's the first quadrant. Now I'm going to go into the sides. So this part's really important. We do a diagonal back section to move around. You can see it with the camera on, it was moving. I'm moving for him. So the diagonal back section was designed by Vidal Sassoon. So A, it gives it volume from the roots, and B gives it volume at the bottom, thus going through the natural shape of the scalp at the same time. So it follows the skull. You can just see how you sort of get hold of this. Right in at the roots. I'm being frightened to do it. And again, just as you get to the end, let it cool down and then exit off the brush, and that then just gives it a really nice shape to finish off. Okay, repeating the process. Again, I tend to use my fingers for this part or a comb. Never use a grip because it doesn't look professional. And then grip it up underneath and just go in some. So I'll switch over to you quick, right? So if you come on this way. Perfect, that's that. Now I can just go straight in there. I need to put a little bit more pressure onto the hair at this point because we've got quite a strong kink. So again, everything's all quite fluid as you're doing this. You can really sort of see it coming through. Gives it a nice amount of body. You can really see the shine appearing as it's coming through as well now, which is nice. So it's coming through. Elevating again. This elevation works really well when you do it. That's it. See the kinks just slowly removing themselves.
Just with a hairdryer.
That's just right. That's why you have to be frightened with the hairdryer. Right, so now using the dryer, slight at an angle, lift it up. Apply that pressure immediately right from the word go. Just drying it, then you can really sort of see that change. This will be very relaxing for you sitting there. You look very relaxed.
Sleep.
I have to say that, you look very relaxed. That's it. Relaxing for me. Still good fun. Now you can really sort of see the change. Again, film this in real time, you can really sort of see everything as it's coming together. And you'll see the style stick come on in a minute. With the products on the hair, it all comes together in harmony to produce the finished effect. Again, just a bit of elevation. We were saying the other day about how many hours we've filmed the footage now, doing 51 haircuts, you know, so there's a lot of hours of footage there. It's incredible, really. I just can't believe that you can get that amount of footage. I know for a fact that Marie Atkinson and Big Mate have watched every episode because Big Mate was a film man. He actually came in and filmed one episode and my dad was not available. Yeah, that's it.
That's good.
It was good. That's when they went away on holiday together and disappeared. Alright, so now we're going to go around this way. Go on to this quadrant. Right, so now we just take this part. Really see that kink there in there. See the difference from side to side, it's magical. Okay, so now just applying it a little bit more. This is where your skill has to really come into play on this part. Blow drying is really important. A lot of people tend to just rough dry the hair, then put straighteners on it. I think it all comes off a good blow dry. Blow dry at the roots. I think it really... Yeah, exactly, yeah. That's exactly right. It just looks good. Complementary. This is what we see. Yeah. There we go. All some colours are looking brilliant now. It's all looking very, very coppery, summery. We've got some summer colours.
Nearly blonde again.
Oh yeah, so that's it. Dina Wonderers come home tonight. We turn around and they say, who's that lady? They say, Carol's not home yet, she's coming home later. You got any ID? That's right. Well done, good fun. Okay, so you can really see this now just turning nicely. Again, just taking the sections gradually. Now we're working towards the crown. It tends to get a little bit challenging there, so really in there, it is a shuffling around. Nice moves, I like it. I'll go over this side. We can change sides. So I can also carry off downstairs. Yeah.
Good.
Right, who else has joined us? Anybody else? Anybody else joined us?
Yeah, Sean Keller.
Sean Keller.
Sean Kelly.
Sean Keller.
Yeah, somebody. You won't pick it up here, Charlie.
Okay.
What a turn to after the year.
Any internationals that you can't pronounce the name?
Yeah,
of?
very cool.
That's good. Yeah, be good evening to our international viewers tonight. Maybe that's what we're normally saying, we can't announce anybody. Somebody came on last week from Brazil. They come from all over. It's good time, mate. So, really good time. Okay, so now, put the dryer on the brush. Don't ever be frightened to put the dryer near the hair, as long as you keep it moving. I tend to think of it as when you're ironing the shirt and it's really creased up. If you put the iron over the shirt quick, it doesn't do anything. If you put the iron over it slowly, but not too slow, you don't burn it, but you put a nice shape in it, and that's what it's all about.
I'm good with the iron.
In layman's terms, yeah, that's really good on. In the hairdressing, it'd be good. Right, so now we come through to the sides. There we go. Lifting out slightly, elevating. As we do this, you can really see it coming through. Again, just getting that little piece, holding on to it at the end, just to make sure you've got it. Just tucks under nicely, make sure you've not missed anything. Okay, so now we go to the last part, the hair. Where it becomes ambidextrous, because you switch over the hands, always hardest bit to learn. Lift it out. You can really see by doing this now, this really gets right into the roots. It's really important. We're doing a blow dry. Okay, so we come to the last piece now, the last quadrant. So I tend to work in quarters as I'm doing it, and that way you can really sort of see what you're doing. Okay. Switch over. You can really see the blonde start to appear. It's not grey, that's just blonde.
No, I coloured it dark.
Combination of products, and because you have the blow dry on the right angle, colour that's there, it all just comes together. Okay. Elevate that slightly. Okay. Come back round this part. That part of the fringe. Okay, all of a sudden now we're going to go into our next tool that we're going to use this evening. We're now going to go into the
Muck styling stuff.
Well done, Dad. Set, which one is it though?
It's the wide blade.
Well done, that's very good. What else does it have on here?
It has lights which light up.
Lots of, yeah, very good. It'd be great on stage, you really would. So we're now going to use the Muck Style Stick Wide Plate 230-1R. You can see it's got red lights in it. As Dad said, it's got red lights that light up in it. They're actually ions that take away static off the hair. So when you've got positive hair, this makes it negative. So that's the only way that you can control it. You have to use ions. They're cool, some lights in
Yeah.
there. It's different, isn't it? It's very different. Let's just get more. So the nice thing with it is, it's been specially designed by the guy that owns Muck, Mark. It's a really, really smart tool, this is. When I went to the NEC to do a hairdressing show, I was handed a pair to use for 2 days, and I thought, well, that's going to be interesting. I was using a competitor's straightener at the time.
Yeah.
And I used this on people with no product on their hair, which we were putting on at all. It was just mainly their hair. 2 things came out of it: the smoothness of the hair as you use it, so it's dead smooth, it shouldn't even pull. The next thing it came out was the fact that it made it so shiny and changed the colour that people were buying it because it literally changed the colour of their hair because it was so smooth afterwards. They said, God, the colour looks totally different. And then I fell in love with it that much that I literally then came back to the salon and used it. So I love it. It's great. And it's just, it is, well, you shouldn't even feel it going through those blades. It's so smooth.
Charlie Osmond.
Charlie Osmond, hello. Nice to see you with us tonight.
Austin Ford.
Austin Ford. Well, there is only one 6 p.m. There is only one 6 p.m. in your world, my friend. There's only one 6 a.m. in my world. You know that. Good to see you. Hope you're okay. Need to get on Fossway and talk about the marathon. Keep saying to Mark Foster, so I know you can put in a nice little word for me. Glenda and I need to come and speak about it. Hope you're okay. I'm sure you got a glass of wine because it's close to 6 p.m. That was. That's it. You lose track of time.
Glass of wine.
Has he got a glass of wine? Oh, buddy has. He's got a glass of wine. He made a video once because I make videos sometimes at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
You've not seen it yet. I don't think you've seen it since you've been on with me as a friend. Sometimes I'll come on and start going, woo, there's only one 6 a.m. He made a video, there's only one 6 p.m. And then literally he was lying in bed and he said, there's only one 6 p.m. in the evening. Exactly how I say it. But brilliant. With a glass of wine. Absolutely brilliant. So funny. I love stuff like that. I find it really funny. It's great. That's what it's all about. Okay, so you can see how this changes the hair as it's working. You should just be able to see this now under the lights. Really see the kinks changing. Everything is really being dissected. Good big word for you there tonight.
Natalie Thompson.
Natalie Thompson. Nice to see you, Natalie. Hope you're okay. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Tom Baker.
Tom Baker. Good to see you, Tom. The Doctor Who man. Up there in, up near Ipswich. Hope you're okay, Tom. Hope your salon's alright.
Marissa Oily.
I know Marissa.
Say hello.
Hi Marissa.
How's it looking? That's what you should say. You can see the change on this
Looking
side.
good, I can see from the front.
Sharon Lavender.
Sharon Lavender. Woo! Nice to see you go past us in the car, Sharon. Hope you're okay. She went past in the car and saw we were running. Started going woo outside the window, yeah, because that's what I do all the time. That's not my cool sign. Bit funny. I've spoken to Lav today. If he's there watching, good to see my friend. You are the top vest maker. He's going to do my official running vest tomorrow, which will be nice for the marathon. And of course, Amy, if you're watching also, nice to see you waving out the back window the other day. It's all good. We love the Lavenders. Great family. Really are. We took over Coombe Abbey recently. We took over. It was the Lavenders and the Baileys. Took it over. It was absolutely brilliant. It was so funny. So you can now see that layer's working. Get that real nice curve in there. So you really start to see it now. The shine's coming on. It's looking really different. It's like a different head of hair.
Looking healthy.
Very healthy. It just looks the way it's good. It's a good call, but it does look very different. You'll see. You'll see. Try to test me out.
Yeah.
No, that's it. I'm multitasking. I love it. Brilliant. So funny. Yes, it does look healthy. It looks very shiny and very sleek and very smooth. It just looks great. The colour looks great. It's unreal. This will photograph really well tonight.
Yeah.
You see the changes. You get the confidence coming out of you straight away. It's really good. So you can see that at home now, just how smooth that is. As Andy would say, smooth. Right, so everything lies in nice. If the layers were not cut right, you'd see a massive line in there now. So obviously there's no lines, everything's lined nice and smooth. Right, diagonal back section on the sides to replicate where we're going. So now we join the two together, which is nice. Just thinking what I'm having for dinner tonight. Fish pie.
Is that what you got?
Just thinking what I'm having later. I was just having a quick think for a second. That's it. Glenda will come on later to see where I'm at. She likes to see what's going on.
Yeah.
So good, then she can time the dinner against it, you see, which is nice. Okay, so now we're going to go through this. Again, a diagonal back section. The nice thing with the wide plates is you can really see how it's smoothing the hair out, and it's also starting to build up the shape as well. Because it's wide, it just takes a lot more hair, and you can really sort of see it. It's going through. Normal plates are fine, but when you're doing something like this, I think sometimes you just need a wider plate to work with, which just works nice. Just let that cool for a minute. So we're going through quite a lot of hair here. So all of a sudden it's all there, it's all nice and you can see the shine now. It's really different. It's always nice when you get to this point because then the model can see what's going on with the hair. Please it does. I'll stick it back on now. So you can really see that now. Again, I'm not putting too much pressure on this, just enough, just to really sort of nicely go through the hair on the plate, but also sort of control it to where I need it to be going, which is nice. Again, you'll see that in the photography later.
What are you telling me? I've got to buy some white plate.
You can do it with normal plates.
I've got normal, I've got GHD.
That's it. Fair play.
Oh wow.
That's it. That's it. If you like them, fair play to you.
I do it because I've got some cheap ones that I bought.
Yeah, exactly.
And they don't straighten it straight now.
You got to do what's right for you and what works for you, which is what it's all about. Right, this feels really smooth now. Really smooth.
Oh, the way the straighteners are going through it.
It's been quite educational. I can see you itching to do some hair, I can tell. It'll be like one of them wind-up cars. You're not going to leave it tonight. You'll climb and start doing some hair. Right, who wants to have some hair done? Right, let's come around this way. You can really see the change now between the two sides. It's evidently different. Right, let's come around this way. Okay, so Dad's got a lot of green on his screen tonight. They're all people when they put the comments up. It's all changed now. At least you know what bring them on film means now.
Yeah.
That's an old man we're filming in a week. Kept coming on, bring them on film. Colette Pitt. Hello Colette, hope you're okay, good to see you. I hope Clive's alright too. No doubt we'll see you at Dave Locke's soon. I know he's organising another party, so I'll have the pleasure of seeing you there. So now we're going to go through the back section again. We're working through this quadrant now, just making sure everything's working. What we'll do then is we'll go through everything again just to make sure the lines are dead line. Well, the lines are dead straight, I should say. And then we'll make sure then the layers are soft, and then come back through to the fringe to finish off, and then use our very last product tonight, and then we will then present Carol, and then go and do the photography. So we really are pushing on now, getting towards the end. It's amazing how quick you can turn things around. So we've only been doing it for an hour, so it's incredible really how you can change something in 60 minutes.
Don't
Massive
feel like
turn.
60
It
minutes.
doesn't, does it really?
No.
Probably seems like 60 hours for you.
No, it doesn't. Honestly, it doesn't.
So kind, I paid you £5 earlier. That's it.
You paid me to say that.
That's the one. Karen Abbott will be thinking,
Oh,
I
bless
can't wait
you.
till next week, I look forward to it. So, yeah, it's nice, it's good.
You realise you've got to blow dry it and straighten it every Friday, don't you?
It's fine. You won't get me in a week's time because I'll be in Spain. You have to
Oh,
fly out to
really?
Spain.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
You'll have to come out to Spain.
I'll come out to Spain.
I'll be training, so I'll have to do it in Mallorca. I've done it because I'll be running. That's what I'm doing, I'm going out to run. So, yeah. So now, I'm going to go through this side, the last quadrant. So kind. That's so funny. So now we're going to go through this side again. It's the diagonal back section. So I used to do horizontal sections, and the point I'm making here is that you're never too old to learn or stop learning. I went to Los Angeles in 2010 when I was working with a previous competitor, and I booked myself into a blow dry class and thought, I can blow dry, but I'm going to go and just see what they're doing. The point being that how I blow dry now is what I learned from that class. So you never stop learning. So you might amaze yourself if you've never ever tried anything like this, a diagonal back section. Just try it, and I think you'll find you get a really nice effect off it. Probably the effect you've always been looking for. I could never quite find that body that I wanted with the finish, and yeah, it works really well. It's just a great way of doing it. So that really helped me out a lot. Let that cool off as you do that there. It just brings that through. And I'm just going to go through this part again on the crown just to make sure I'm really happy with it. Just hold the plate on to the very end. Okay, so now we're going to come through to the fringe area. Just put that on there. Keep it moving. see the shape already with the actual layering as it's just already worked, so this will need practically nothing doing to it. Once it's been finished, it's going to come on this way. We've already got the softness on there already as well, it's already there. The product makes it easier as well, because you can see the product really grips it as soon as you put it on. It just really just makes it so much easier. Just put your comb under there, stops you from burning people, stops you from burning your hands, because again they tend to get in the way. It's all fingers and thumbs at this point now, so you just get in there. Again, with a wide plate it's quite tricky, so you just have to be quite, you know, sort of direct with it when you're doing it. Okay, let's make sure we've not missed anything. Let's just go on this part. Okay, you can see how much body you can get out of it just when you start. So, there you go. Oh, not yet, fine. Okay, so we've got around this way. So that's the difference when you can use the muck style plate. It really does come into play. You see how the irons work in harmony with the cut. I was going really creative now with this cut. So with the filming, I like it. Very good. He used to make his own films in 1981. It's absolutely brilliant. It's so natural, isn't it? It's really good. Right, so now we get the scissors again. What we need to do now is go through the cut and just make sure we've not missed anywhere. So on these cuts you tend to get graduation. So what we're going to do now is just revisit the line again. So just slightly put your head forward. The reason we do moving the head forward is because you can see if there's any graduation underneath. You see there's quite a bit there. So now I'm going to stamp this line in perfect. Just by doing this. So this is the original line we cut to. So just going to take this off just to sharpen it up. So it tends to travel quite a bit, even though you saw me cut it really perfect when it was wet, it still does move.
Yeah.
Quite a lot. So people sometimes have to always check this and make sure it's perfect. So now you've got that angle I said that we were cutting before, you can really see it all come into play. Just below the shoulders, which is what we said in the consultation, it's all there. Again, which is really important, because you have to think about what you've been asked to do. So you can't go getting scissor happy and taking it all off, even though when we did take it off to begin with, it did look a bit like, well, where's it going now? Which is interesting. Okay, so now we come through this side. Really getting a realisation at home while I'm cutting this, you can actually sort of see exactly how I see it.
Yeah, it will be nice not to have to put a bobble in to go to bed.
Exactly. That's right. So you can see how this moves quite a bit. You just literally just go into it with the blade. It's just the angle you've got to go in at with the blade just to make sure it's right. Again, you've got to be careful when you use a blade that you don't turn it too much, because sometimes you can actually take off a bit of the gown, take a chunk of the gown out, so you've got to be really careful with that. So just be really particular when you're doing it, and just make sure that you sort of see what you're doing. No, you don't want to be doing that, that's right, yeah, I won't be doing any of that.
Jumper out.
That's it, cut it all out the jumper, that's right. Cut through the necklace. Don't want to do that, otherwise Dean will be down here to see me.
Yeah, I will.
What did you do? Just
Yeah.
cut straight through the... I did that once, actually, cut through a chain.
Did you really?
Oh yeah, I didn't even feel it, because it was
No,
so
you wouldn't, would
thin. The gold in it was so delicate, just went straight through it. And as you know, scissors are just like so sharp, and they cut through anything like knife through butter.
Yeah.
Right, give you a little shake for me if you can. Thank you, please, and thank you. Right, so keep yourself where you are. So if there's any underneath hair that's literally dislodged itself, then now we get it and just take it off. Just to make sure everything just sits nice, because you'll have that like, little bit that's just under there. Just makes it absolutely pristine when you do this. See, I'm slightly putting the scissors at an angle as I'm doing this, just slightly at an angle. So what it's doing is it's taking the underneath hair off as it's taking any hair that's really hanging down. Just makes it easier to make the line sit perfect. So when you come underneath it, you can always get a mirror and place the mirror underneath and go like that and look at it if you wanted to. That's another technique I use, which is big from the 60s, just to check it off. Because you want to get this as perfect as you can, really. It's really important. It will move, it will keep moving, so as long as it just looks good to your eye, that's what it's all about. Again, sitting down, it's good on your back, and also you can see the angle of where you're cutting just to make sure it's perfect. Okay, so let's just come around this way. Just make sure this side's perfect. You can see that's there. Okay, so now we're going to go through the graduation sides. Just going to lift this up now. So up it comes, slightly at an angle. You can either do one or two things with this. You can go for it like that and cut into it, moving the degree of the blade, or you can do this technique, which is a beautiful technique. It's called stroking technique. So you lift it to the same height as the head, and all you do then is slice into it to the second knuckle, and that just softens it out. Again, it's a little bit of theatre, so people like to see theatre. It's just something nice. By holding the hair at this angle, it does it all for you. All we're doing is enhancing what was been recently cut. So all of a sudden that now just goes under better. We're not actually physically taking any more off it, we're just literally just enhanced to what we've got. Okay. Just be careful when you try this one on. Watch your fingers. I know you'll probably be trying it. Same height as the head, because if you went lower, it's the angle of it. Alright, so we're going slice it. It's a bit like wielding scissors. You're just planing it off. It actually makes the hair sit better as well, it's nice. Okay, so now we'll just come through again. It's amazing how much your hair can change. Hello darling, hope you're okay. I'm really looking forward to my fish pie tonight. I bet you know what technique this is as well, because you've seen it so many times on a video. You'll be thinking, yeah, stroking technique. That's right, it just works perfect. So I used to make a mess in the living room with this technique. Just learn it over and over and over again for like months. But the thing is, it's practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've now got what we needed. Just make sure that just flows a little bit better. Then we're going to go into the layers just to make sure that the layers sit perfect, because again it's really important just to make sure that everything sits spot on.
Stroking.
Well done, that's exactly right. Well done darling, I knew you'd know.
What you
That's the
said.
technique, stroking technique.
Stroking.
It's called stroking technique, because you're stroking there as you're doing it. Just through there, so I told you that she'd know it. Because she's seen so many hairdressing DVDs, it's unreal.
Yeah.
It comes on scat in combination. All that sort of thing. Right, here we go. So layers. We're going to go through what we did earlier on. So we start from back to the front. So the idea of this is one of two things. Number one, we shatter the line, which makes it sit more invisible. So what you're going to do now is just slice into the hair. The more you turn the blade, the more softer it gets, and the more hair you take off. The less you turn it, the less you take off. So we're just taking out bits just to finish it off and make it straight. Nidge White! Great to see you, brother. Hope you're okay. I'm guessing you're at home. Looking forward to seeing when you come back. You can tell me about Prague. Should be really nice. So I'm excited about that. See some photography. No doubt you took a few photos. Hope you're okay. Hope Sarah's alright. So I hope the family's alright. Good to see you on tonight with us. So again, now I'm just going around. You can see how we're just sort of making sure.
Gary Mealy.
Gary Mealing again. Good to see you, Gary. Hope you're okay. Like I said, you'd be good for this.
Lucy Chapel.
Lucy. Hello, Lucy. Good to see you. He's on there, he's on there. With the names tonight. Okay, so again, just making sure everything just lies nice and smooth. So you can really see it all just falling in perfect. Again, just lifting up. We'll do this. Again on 4K, because you can see it all on the 4K tonight. If you've got 4K TV, you'll be getting this absolutely perfect. Tonight, if you're watching it through your TV, if you're watching it through your Samsung, well, I'm sure you'll get a nice picture. As too with your iPhone, depending on what format you're watching. Okay, so there's side one. Let's just move you around like a carousel. That's what we used to have to be taught to do with this when on stage, moving with the camera. So, you know, obviously when you're cutting is one thing, but when you're working with a camera it's another.
Yeah.
It's all good fun. And then a mic. If You've got a microphone that works dodgy as well, that's interesting. Just switching on and off. Tech in 1. Hey Dad. Tech in 1, 2, testing. On a mic. That's it. That's the one. Just like you.
Gorman Collier.
That's it. What you got today? That's it. All the pies. That's it. Right, so now we're going to just go through, soften this. Again, we're now coming towards the end of the cup, so we just do the fringe and then we'll then do a slight recite of what we did.
Sally Clark says them straighteners are definitely put her when her straighteners what she's using, Margaret's the big straighteners in the skull.
Well done, Sally. That's impressive. Come and see me when you're ready. Hope you're okay. Hope you're keeping well, sweetheart. At least you can see hairdressers still working at it. That's good to see on there.
Oh, we've gone over to white instead of green now.
Oh, it's all changed, does it? Probably because it changes at night. Right, so now we're just going to make sure that everything's all working perfect with the fringe. Just bring it down slightly so I've not missed anything. Just a little bit of freehand cutting, just very quickly. Just there. Like I said, there won't be hardly anything that'll come off here now.
Yeah.
We'll just take off the edge. That's that. You can really see the shine on it, it's really good. Okay. Now just go around this way. That's it. Okay, now just lift it with a comb. We've got a lot of body in here at the moment, so I've put loads in there. So now just lift that up. Something really like shining. Just looking at the video, you can really see it on there. The shine is unbelievable. But then again, in real life, you can really see the shine too. It's great. Right, so now we're just going to get some thinning scissors just to do the fringe. Just something different. Nice photography there, Dad. Really nice photography, as always. Great angle. He's good at this. Best. Okay, so you can see I'm using thinning scissors now, just very lightly on the edges. What that does is really breaks it up, but keeps the length. Just a nice technique. Again, you can see the angle I'm going at. Just holding the angle slightly, and what that does is just breaks it off and just gives it more of a softer look. Just have to be very careful when you use them that you don't go too crazy, because if you go quite erratic with it, as my dad used to say, don't go at it like a bullet to gate. You will find that you will lose a lot of hair. So
when it's gone, it's gone.
When it's gone, it's gone, that's right. Sounds like a Wix advert. Okay, so it's just going there. See the angle I've got my hand at while I'm doing this? Just so it's more solid. As you're coming in, it's got to be really solid when you do a fringe. Or any kind of personalisation, it has to be really, really solid. Okay, so that's the fringe. Just go around this way.
Super.
Still there. Remember, it's when you dry, it'll go longer. It's got to settle down a bit. Right, so let's just make sure we've got a little bit of colour blend. Soften through this a bit, because we've got quite a bit of colour. Okay, so just one last look, just to make sure everything's all alright with the cut. Because again, there's been a lot of change tonight. Massive change. Again, just make sure that everything just looks right and pristine. That's it, okay? Okay, our last product this evening we're going to use, I'm just going to go for a slight change tonight. We'll go off piece, we're going to use Muck Spa, we're going to be using Shine Spray. Now, you have to be very careful with this product because it does coat the floor, so you'll be dancing like Michael Jackson. So, let's just watch the camera when we do this. So we're just going to put shine on, so just literally just put this on now. This literally, I tend to just cascade it over the top. Just go over in little motions as you're doing it. And that basically then just gives it a mega shine. But yeah, if you go on the floor you can see it. Literally he's like on the floor. So when you stand up in a moment, just be very careful. Right, so let's just take this now. So I'm just going to I'll peel off now. There you go. I forgot to stand up for me. What we said earlier, so just give us a little bit of a nice and slowly spin around. That's it. Back it up, back it up, back it up. That's it, really good. Okay, so now, okay, this is where it all starts at the beginning. turn around, Carol, so I can start with the back. Thank you, darling. So we literally started with a load of hair we cut off to begin with, so we've cut a lot of hair off. Then we went through the line into the back and cut that in, which if you remember we used sections that were slightly angular. We went down, which then that obviously came down, was angular as it was cut, which now denotes a straight line. We then came round to the sides, put a slight amount of graduation into the front, which you can see is a tiny piece there, which I think just softens it off rather than just a solid line, which then just looks something different. We then went back through to the layer through the top, which will work from the apex to the occipital bone, which gave us a rounded layer through there, which now you can see that evidence just there between there and there, which gives us a nice fold in the layer, because then it just gives it that nice sort of softer heart-shaped look. We then came through the top part, working with the parietal ridge, which was on the main bone, which we went for the square layer, through to rounded layer, which you can again see the evidence. It goes with the body through the top, which you can see both sides, and it also gives us that heart shape on the sides, which is what gives us that nice curve. We then put a curve into the fringe, which then replicates with the curves that are going on here. Put another curve through the top to remove the weight from this area, which then lifts it really nice, and you can see how that works in harmony with the cut. We then went through literally recutting the solid line through the back by moving the head slightly forward and then cutting that off underneath with the graduation, which now you can see is a good solid line, which again, against beige on the colour of the jumper, really gives the game away, because if it wasn't cut right you'd see it now. We then went with the layers and re-chipped into all of that and softened it out, which then you can see this colour as it's just coming through, and then you see that as it just lies nicely and gives us that really nice soft effect as it just comes through and hides the layers. Then we came back through to the fringe. We went through with it freehand, softened into it with a point cutting and the thinning scissors also. The products we use, you can relax now and face towards the camera's fine. Stay on, it's fine. Right, products we use. Fat Blowout Mousse was the cutting lotion which contained the conditioner, which we can now see the shine, which is unreal because it's got so much conditioner and it's unbelievable. 21 Miracle Lotion, which then we use as a blow drying lotion. And then I decided to completely go away from what I was doing and use the argan oil, which of course is just finished off the shine, which you can really sort of see the last evidence of it on the floor. I'm sure that you'll agree. Eyes there. Coming on it.
Yeah, it looks good.
Pleased.
Yeah, I'm pleased. Yeah.
The feel of it. Feels
Yeah.
like gloss.
Yeah, I'm pleased. Yeah.
Thank you, Carol. I really appreciate that. Thank you to everybody that's watched tonight, the international and national people that have watched this evening. Big thank you to our sponsors this evening, Muck. Again, you see in harmony how the product works in harmony with the cut, and again, you can see a massive change. When you look at the before photos to what you see and the after photos, which we'll take in a minute, you will not believe the difference. So it's just to say a big thank you to my younger brother. Here he is, look. Again, always filming in now, yeah, lots of ways for us to be on film. There is girls on film, dads on film. So, if you'd like me to teach your team in your salon or come to our salon to be taught in our salon, visit me on Scott Bailey Cutting Education on Facebook. I'll be only too pleased to answer any questions. As with on here tonight, any questions with the products, any questions with the cut, feel free to ask us. But in the meantime, wherever you are going, whatever you're doing, have a great evening. We'll be back next week with Karen Abbott on Wednesday night. Not Tuesday night, Wednesday night before I jet off to Spain. So it's one more to go. Model 52. I'm sure you'll enjoy it as we've enjoyed doing Carol's there this evening. And take care of yourselves. And from my father, Carol and myself, take care, good night, ciao.
Yeah.
Boy,
Good?
I feel like
Yeah, I do. I really love that.